One phrase, and the whole team's infected. My kids can't do this. That one statement just gave everyone permission to stop trying. In the next 6 minutes, I'll show you why deficit language spreads, what it costs your students, and the reframing technique you can use in your next data meeting. Here's what research tells us about negativity in groups. Sigal Barsade at the Wharton School studied what she called the ripple effect. She found that one person's negative state infects the mood and performance of the entire group, even when people don't realize it's happening. In PLCs, silence often means alignment. So when one teacher says, "My kids can't do this," and nobody pushes back, that statement just became the team's belief. This isn't just about team morale. It directly impacts students. A 2019 study from Indiana University looked at 150 professors and over 15,000 students. What they found? Racial achievement gaps were twice as large in fixed mindset classrooms. Here's the chain reaction. When belief drops, effort narrows. When effort narrows, opportunity disappears. The one phrase, "my kids can't," isn't just venting, it's costing students opportunities. So what do you do when you hear teachers say, "my kids can't"? Well, here's what doesn't work. Let's stay positive. That's dismissive. It shuts people down. And ignoring it, that lets it spread. Here's the shift. This isn't about correcting people. It's about redirecting the conversation. In Results Coaching by Kathryn and her colleagues, they introduce a framework called levels of language. The idea is simple. Language reveals mindset, and mindset can be shifted through language. They identify a spectrum from obligation to options, to preference to passion, to possibility to plan, and finally to promise. The lowest level is obligation. You hear it in phrases like, "I should," "I have to," "I ought to." What does obligation signal? A lack of control, heaviness, disempowerment. When teachers say, "we should tutor these kids because they're not going to pass the assessment," that's obligation language. They feel stuck. No choices, no agency. The reframe is simple. Move them from obligation to options. Here's the question. Among these options, which do you think would work best for you and your students? Why does this work? Because you're not correcting them. You're expanding their thinking. You're moving them from "I have no choice" to "I have choices." Let me show you what this looks like in practice. A teacher says, "These kids just can't do fractions. We have to slow everything down." The old response might be, "Let's stay positive." That's dismissive. Or you just ignore it and it spreads. Your new response? It sounds like pacing is a concern. What are some options for addressing the gap while keeping the momentum? You acknowledge their concern, you didn't attack them, and you move the conversation towards action. Here's how to make this a team norm. At the start of a data cycle, introduce this language. This semester, we're going to practice noticing our language and moving towards options and possibilities. When it's a shared vocabulary, it stops being a correction tool. It becomes how we talk. So when you hear obligation, "I should," "we have to," "these kids can't," redirect to options. What are some options that would work for you and your students? Let's look at the bigger picture. I've mentioned this before. Mindset problems are often system problems, wearing a human face. So if your whole team sounds defeated, it might not be mindset. It might be the system. How many initiatives are there? How many are active? How much is being asked of them? As I mentioned before, I made a video on exactly this topic. Stop drowning, the 3-project rule that transforms school teams. When teachers have manageable workloads, they have more capacity for a growth mindset. Link is in the description. Deficit language is contagious. It erodes collective efficacy, and it costs students opportunities. You can't control what people think, but you can redirect language towards options. This week, don't fix it, reframe it. Hey, if you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. I release team protocols every week that survive Monday morning. Drop a comment. What deficit phrase do you hear most often? Hey, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.